Hi guys, I'm Emily DeSimone with the Garden State Film Festival, and with me here today is director Tyler Markham of his film Going Home. Tyler, how are you today?
Very good. How are you, Emily?
I'm doing well, thank you. So Tyler, before I dive into asking you about everything with the film, can you give our viewers a tidbit?
It's a short about a kid growing up. It's a coming of age story about fatherhood and sonhood and the intricacies that deal with having a stepfather versus your biological father. And yeah, they get into some shenanigans.
Okay. So do you have like a personal relationship with that?
I guess the film is kind of based on a friend that I grew up with.
Okay.
And I had a close relationship with his stepdad, and kind of just growing up, I always thought this would be an interesting story to tell, especially in short form. And yeah, so I think that it is personal. I guess I don't have a stepfather. I have just my biological dad, but I have a close relationship with him as well, and so I think it was all inspired by the lessons I learned growing up and stuff like that.
Okay, that's awesome. I just wanted to know like what your take on if you like came up with it yourself or whatnot. So it's cool that like it's something that you witnessed and something that like you not experienced firsthand, but something that you've seen. So
Yeah, yeah.
with this film, when did you end up filming?
We shot in December 17th to the 19th of 2022.
Oh,
Or
so
I'm sorry, 2021. 2021. I'm so sorry.
okay.
21. Yeah.
Did you have any, because I know 2021 was a really big year, even though the COVID pandemic was starting to kind of come down, there were still and are still like, like will be waves where people do get sick and we're all like working on like protecting ourselves and people around us. And so how would you say COVID affected your process? Did it have any effect?
Yes, definitely. I wrote the script during COVID, and I just had a lot of free time. I was just thinking about the people in my life, and I remember the process of trying to make the film. I was like, well, it needs to be something that, because this is my senior thesis film from Montclair State, and I knew that it had to be something that I could shoot. That it wasn't something that had too many people. That I needed to test everybody prior and make sure that, it was this big intricate thing. I was like, it needs to be small, it needs to be minimal characters in certain situations. And yeah, it definitely played a part in the production of the film. And I think in a couple of the frames, you could see a couple of masks hanging down. Although like the setting of the film isn't during a COVID pandemic, it's definitely during regular times, and none of the characters are wearing masks, but there's little hints that it was made during a COVID time.
So you said you made this for your senior thesis. Did you have like other students, I guess, helping you with it, and like who worked on it with you, and how did you come about these people?
Yes, it was basically a complete student crew. I had a couple of friends that had just graduated that were helping on the production, but my cinematographer, Drew Collins, he's fantastic. I met him through one of the producer on the film who I met at Montclair, Ryan Kennedy. He connected me, and thank God he did, because we're best friends. He's one of my best buddies in the whole world now. And this is the first time we worked together, and we've worked since on other things. And yeah, the entire crew, like the camera team, the grip team, the electrics, the sound, everybody was a student that I had met at Montclair. It was a very Montclair based crew, and all the connections that I got from the cast down, everything was through Montclair. So I'm very, very proud that it was made that way.
That's fantastic. So was this your first big project? Like, was this your first time directing?
No, I've definitely directed before. I've been making films since I was 13, and using my brother, using my friends, using other people. But this is the first time that I guess I would say I worked with real actors. I've always just used friends or people that were in school but didn't necessarily have like a true acting background. And but this one I went out of my way to cast the proper way, get professionals or semi-professionals, and I think the performances I'm very, very happy with. They're I think my best directing work. so far. So
That's fantastic. Is this your first time submitting to a film festival?
yes, this is my first festival. I was never confident enough to submit anything else that I've ever made to a festival. I think I've made good films, but this is definitely something that I'm proud enough, and I was willing enough to say, okay, I put myself out there, and it all worked out, I guess.
Well, thank you for putting yourself out there. And how does it feel to be accepted to the Garden State?
Amazing. I've heard about this film festival for a very long time. It's a very well respected festival. I'm a Jersey boy through and through, born and raised, and I couldn't be more proud that it's being screened at the Garden State Film Festival where I grew up and belong.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I really love your energy. Like you do seem like so excited to be doing this. Are you still in college?
No, I just recently graduated, and this was my last piece of material from that time. But yeah, so I'm happy that I got to submit through the domestic college branch of the festival, and so yeah, so everything now is going to be independent. But yeah, I still have all the connections I made from Montclair. So
Well, congratulations on graduating from school.
thank you.
So, what would you say this whole experience has taught you in filming this particular film with your education and whatnot?
I think it was a great firsthand way to learn. You know, you can learn as much as you can in a book or from someone else telling you or even showing you, but the only way you can really learn is by doing. And I learned so much. I learned so much in the 3 days that it took to shoot this project, more than I could have ever learned in 2 years. You know, in school, and you know, especially because it was really during the pandemic, and you know, we had all COVID protocol and everything, and it was from producing it on down to writing and directing. It was a great crash course on filmmaking and learning how to direct and properly make a film.
So, with this film, as the audience is watching it, what is it you want people to take from your film?
I hope that they obviously enjoy the film, and I hope they feel something for the characters, and I hope that possibly they'll take a reflection of their family and what they hold close and what means something to them, and the relationships they have with the people that love them.
Would you say you had any, like, because this is something that is the first time you've submitted, and even though you've been filming since you were 13, like, what would you say you've run into during this process that could have been a bit of an obstacle and made you really, like, can you pick like a specific example of something that you weren't preparing to have happen that really helped to make you grow?
Definitely coordinating everyone together. And most films I've made, I've been with friends and very minimal crew, but this was the first one that I had, a proper team. And as your own independent filmmaker, and I'm obviously the producer on the film, and in addition to the director, you have to juggle a couple hats. And I think the biggest thing I'll take away from the process of it was following obviously the COVID guidelines, which I guess it's sort of on its way out, hopefully. And just coordinating everyone together, making sure that everyone is fed, everyone's happy, the set is running good, because in addition to being a filmmaker as a director, you also have to command the set. And so I will say that was learning how to keep everybody together. That's the hardest thing.
I mean, I'll attest to being fed definitely helps, to keep
Yes.
me happy. So I'm
Yeah.
sure it's
Read the
very
crew.
helpful.
Yes.
So, with this, what is your plan? So, this is your first time submitting to the Garden State Film Festival. What would you say your plans are moving forward? Because this is a great networking opportunity for filmmakers to come together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited to meet other filmmakers and talk about possible projects for future stuff. But I definitely am gonna take this experience, hopefully learn how to continue with this film if it's in another festival, or if it's something else. I'm definitely gonna try to take in all the knowledge I learn and the connections I make and use them to further making more films, because that's what I want to do.
Okay, that's fantastic. So do you think, so in your education, because you went to school and you've been filming since you were 13, do you have any advice for anyone starting out? Because, for example, we had an 18-year-old on earlier, and like this was one of his first things he's ever done. Like, what's something you could say to someone like him?
Oh boy. I would say don't get discouraged from anything that if it's a festival submission, or you're just showing your friend and he doesn't like it, just you got to keep doing. You can't be discouraged if you're writing, or if you have writer's block, keep writing. Even if it's bad, that's the most important thing, is just it's art. People are going to like it, people aren't going to like it. Everything is subjective. If that's all that matters is that you like it and you're happy with it at the end of the day. Because I know people who make films and they're great films and they're not happy with them, but as you have to be happy with what you make, and that's the biggest thing I would say, is just keep going and don't stop.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Tyler, for taking the time to join me today. I can't wait for your video to screen, your film to screen. So your film will be screening on Saturday at the Kingsley Ballroom in the Berkeley Hotel from 3 p.m. to 4:45 p.m. Again, thank you so much, Tyler, and I can't wait.
Thank you so much. This was awesome. I can't wait either.
Have a good one.
You too.